Hello again and welcome to our April 2022 edition of Quick Kit. Links to everything we mentioned will be down in the description below. This month's edition is quite a long one as BSC and NAB have happened this month, which means lots of new products have been announced, so grab a drink, get comfy, and let's get into it. Connected workflows have to be one of the biggest areas that are being explored right now in our industry, and the first company looking to revolutionise your workflow is Blackmagic. They have announced a range of new products just before and at NAB 2022. One of the biggest being the release of DaVinci Resolve 18 and Blackmagic Cloud, which brings some fantastic upgrades, but mainly the introduction of a bunch of new cloud-based features and 3 new pieces of hardware to supplement that: the Cloud Store, Cloud Store Mini, and Cloud Pod. The Cloud Store is essentially a networked storage device, and is available in 3 different configurations: a 20TB, 80TB, and 320TB version. They are all based around M.2 media in a RAID 5 configuration and have some seriously beefy I/O, such as 4 10GB ports, which can all be fully saturated. Our Codex Media Vault we use for storage uses 10GB as well, which is great for small creative teams like ours. If we take a look at the I/O of the device, we can see that it has 2 1GB Ethernet ports for internet network access to keep the 4 10GB ports free for more demanding connections. It also has a USB-C ingest port and backup port. Both of these will automatically do their respective tasks as soon as the USB-C source is connected. Ethernet over USB is also supported on these ports. You then have a HDMI output for viewing the status of your cloud store in real time, and a regular IEC power input. There are also 2 internal power supplies, which is great for redundancy. Not only does this system allow you to share your files and projects locally over the network, but also globally when paired with Blackmagic's new software in Resolve 18. They have also introduced a proxy management system, which will be great for uploading files for remote workflows. The cloud side of the storage uses Dropbox on the back end. If you're interested in learning more about how powerful this system is with Resolve 18, I suggest giving the 2-hour Resolve 18 update livestream a watch, as I can't really fit it all in here. The Cloud Store Mini is essentially a stripped down version for smaller production needs at a lower cost, but still features the core functionality of the regular store. The Cloud Pod allows you to attach your own external SSDs via the 2 USB-C ports on the back of the device. This then turns your storage device you've just plugged in into basically a Cloud Store Mini, giving it the same functionality as the previous devices, but with slightly limited I/O of course. If you want to take advantage of the Blackmagic Cloud service, it's around $5 a month per library, but you can spin this up and spin this down as you need it, which is really good. This update is amazing, and I really want to get my hands on one of the stores and try this out. Who knows, this might be the push we need to finally switch away from Premiere to Resolve 18. Blackmagic also released a bunch of new hardware, starting with the announcement of 2 new HyperDeck products, the HyperDeck Shuttle HD and HyperDeck Extreme 4K HDR. The HyperDeck Shuttle HD is a media recorder and player designed for live production desktop configurations. It features a traditional broadcast design with a large search dial and array of buttons. It supports a range of industry standard formats, uses SD cards or external USB-C drives for recording, features a HDMI input and output, making it a great pairing with Atom mini switches, and can even be used as a teleprompter, which is pretty unique. The HyperDeck Extreme 4K HDR is a much higher end device, with much more horsepower on the back end, as well as a larger touchscreen interface, similar to that found on Blackmagic's View Assists. Although the HyperDeck Extreme control unit can add traditional broadcast deck controls to this unit as well. It also features an optional media cache, which can help eliminate drop frames using an optional PCIe flash disk internally. Blackmagic also announced the Atom Constellation HD family of live production switches. This consists of the 1ME, 2ME, and 4ME. Depending on the model, you can get up to 40 standard converted 3G SDI inputs, DVEs, Atom Advanced Chroma keyers, media players, multi-views, and more. And that's at a pretty low cost entry for the 1ME, but that's unsurprising for a Blackmagic release. Before NAB, Atomos announced their collaboration with Frame.io to bring camera to cloud for the Ninja 5 as well as the Shogun series. So it wasn't surprising to see them release 2 new products at NAB, the Connect and the Shogun Connect, as well as Cloud Studio, which is their cloud-based service for these devices. The key functionality here is the ability to record your high quality media on the recorder while simultaneously creating low quality proxy files for sharing on the Atomos Cloud Studio network. They have also created a new protocol which even starts transferring the files before the clip has even finished recording on the recorder. Once proxies are online, they can then be accessed via Frame.io. The Connect is a module that attaches to the back of the Ninja 5 or 5 Plus. This module adds a range of I/O as well as a set of aerials. It provides the same functions as the Sync module, as well as a 12G SDI port and a 1GB Ethernet port. The Shogun Connect is a new standalone system in the Shogun series. This features a new physical design, a fully featured Shogun 7 monitor recorder internally with the same panel as the Shinobi 7, and the new Connect module built in. The inputs and outputs from the Shogun 7 have been stripped back though to keep the size down, but the Connect will sit alongside the Shogun 7 so you can easily decide which features you require. This integration here is amazing, and the fact that Adobe have finally brought Frame.io into their stuff as well, I'm really intrigued to see how this workflow all just comes together now. Aputure went seriously ham at this NAB. They introduced a few products leading up to it, so had some serious new kit to show off at the show. However, at the show they actually announced and teased some seriously awesome looking new products. This started with the 600D, which is essentially a stripped back version of the 600D Pro, with the same output, slightly fewer Pro features, but at a much lower price point. Next was the 600C, and this thing looks amazing. This full color fixture features an RGBWW chip capable of outputting 600 watts, while also featuring all the regular bells and whistles you would expect from an Aputure LS Pro fixture. It's also priced really well considering, and the photometrics look great. It's interesting to see that they didn't go down the RGB ACL route that Prolycht have, but Tim from Aputure gave a great interview with Nino from Cine D where he explained the thought process behind it. It's really worth checking out if you are interested in this fixture. I seriously cannot wait to get a couple of these into our studio. Aputure also showed two new prototype products, their new MC Pro and MT RGB tube light. The MC Pro looks to take the incredibly popular MC light and make it even better with a 40% bump in output, a magnetic front for different modifiers, and an expanded 2000 to 10,000 Kelvin range. The MT RGB tube lights look really great as well. This 1 foot fixture is just a teaser of what Aputure are developing with their tube fixtures. These are being designed for higher end productions like ones that are using quasars and asteras, but these new lights have some seriously awesome features that these do not. First off, it's battery powered with a roughly 100-minute battery life. It can also dim down lower than any other tube fixture, and when dimmed, you cannot see the individual pixels. And this is because of the higher pixel density of 36 in this 1 foot tube. That is seriously dense. This will be awesome for when the tube is in shot, especially with the thin edges on the edges of the fixture as well. It's also stated to have a really high refresh rate across the pixels, which means that replicating fast-paced light should be pretty easy now. I can see these fixtures being really great for virtual production, as long as Aputure are looking at how they can integrate these with those systems. No price or release date on either of these yet, but I cannot wait to see them both in the flesh. Aputure also teased an upcoming update for Sidus Link, Sidus DMX, and this will allow you to connect any other fixture with a wireless DMX chip inside of it and bring it into your Sidus Link network. That is amazing, as it means that you can bring all your fixtures into one app to control them, as well as use the great controls and effects built into Sidus Link with other non-Aputure or Amaran fixtures, with obviously all the benefits of the mesh network that Sidus Link creates. Aputure will also be making dongles for non-wireless DMX lights, so you'll be able to do this with fixtures that don't have a chip built in as well. This was Prolycht's first NAB, and they've also had a great show, as they've showed off a range of new products. We looked at the Orion 300FS before and explained why RGB ACL tech in LED fixtures is so awesome. So if you want to learn more about that, link to our video on it is in the description below. Just before NAB though, they released a new firmware for the Orion 300FS, which brought some small updates. But the good stuff was at NAB, where they were showing off some of the awesome upcoming Dedolight collaboration products that they've got in the works. These were some prototype modifiers, as well as a prototype Dedolight D87 featuring RGB ACL tech inside. The modifiers consisted of a zoom lens, a DP400 modified for the Orion 300, and a wide field of view adapter which gives the fixture an 80-degree beam angle. They look awesome, and I can't wait to see more. They also had a 150cm octa on the show as well. The D87 FS looks awesome too. The D87 is a fantastic light, and this looks like an awesome collaboration. I can't wait to see final production units, as this is what we were all hoping for when Dedolight and Prolycht announced the collaboration together. However, their biggest announcement at the show has to be the 675. This is their new full spectrum RGB ACL 675W spotlight. Prolycht are claiming it to be roughly the equivalent of a 5K tungsten and more powerful than a 1200W HDMI. It also has no ballast externally, everything is built into the lamp itself. It is also IPX5 rated, uses a Bowens mount for modifiers, and comes with a 30° and 55° reflector in the box. The Orion was already very impressive, but this fixture looks like a serious step up for them. With Aputure 600C coming out at the same time, I can't wait to compare them both. There have been an absurd amount of new lenses announced over the past month. Let's start off though looking at Atlas, who announced a 21mm T2 2x Anamorphic for their Orion series and teased an upcoming new series of lenses called Mercury. While there isn't much information about Mercury yet, Atlas has shown off a visual reel of the 21mm being used, and it looks awesome. This new lens brings the Orion series to 8 focal lengths, and this 21mm is one of the widest 2x Anamorphics on the market. If you like the Atlas look, I'm sure that this is something you'll be really excited about, and I can't wait to check this out and learn more about the Mercury series when we can. Canon has launched 2 new cinema zooms, as well as a new super zoom for broadcast, and some driver updates for their PTZ cameras. The new cinema zooms are the CNE 20-50mm t2.4 and CNE 45-135mm t2.4, both of which are designed for full-frame cinema workflows. These lenses are priced really well when compared to the rest of the full-frame cinema zoom lenses in its market, and it also looks to perform pretty well. We actually have the 20-50 in at the moment to take a look at, so expect our review very soon. I'm also really looking forward to trying out the longer focal length lens as well. DZOFILM have released a set of rear filters for their Kata Ace and Vespid series, and a new 14-30 t2.8 zoom for their Pictor series. The KOOP system will come in 2 different sets, the standard and the artistic. The standard will be a set of NDs as well as a UV filter, and the artistic bundle will include a black mist, blue streak filter, and a DIY bokeh filter. They look relatively affordable and could be a really nice system to use with the Ace lenses or the Vespid primes. The Pixel 14-30 slots in just below the 20-55 in the Pictor series to give Super 35 shooters an option for a wide zoom. I can see this being pretty popular with anyone who already owns a Pictor set that they use on their existing Super 35 cinema camera. Though it is a good amount more expensive than the original Pictor lenses, coming in at roughly £2,740, which is roughly £750 more expensive than the 20-55. We were really lucky to have the Freelensing Cine on our stand at BSC 2022, and it really is an amazing piece of kit. This system has been built from the ground up for working professionals wanting a freelensing or tilt shift style system that allows them to use whatever lens they want within the system's payload range, intuitive control of where they position their lens, as well as repeatable marks and lens motor integration. Sergio, who founded this product, really has thought this system out extremely well. We should be getting our demo unit soon, so we can really show you how fabulous this system is. It is pricey, coming in at roughly £22,000 excluding VAT, but when compared to some other systems, this is honestly very well priced, and with it being such a niche product, I can see this being mainly purchased by rental houses. If you want to learn more, get in contact with us, or check out the interview that Cine D did on our stand at BSC with Sergio, link to which is in the description below. Laowa has released and teased a bunch of new products. They have launched an updated 15mm f4.5 R0D shift lens and a 0.7 focal reducer for their probe lens. This new version of their shift lens has a red ring which denotes that it has a 14 blade iris instead of the 5 in the blue ring version. The focal reducer is going to be available in a range of mounts and has been designed specifically to be used with Laowa's probe lens on Super 35 or APS-C cameras. It's also priced pretty well too, so if it performs well optically and works well with other lenses, this could be quite an interesting option. They also teased some new Nanomorphics, which should have more information about them released soon. These look to be called their Nanomorph series, and they have teased 2 sets currently. One small one consisting of a 27mm T2.4, 35mm T2.4 and 50mm T2.8, all of which have a 1.5 squeeze factor and a super small, lightweight design. These will most likely be designed for shorter flange, smaller sensor cameras, with the other series they are teased with this image here being designed for longer flange Super 35 cameras. This is all the info we have so far, but I am so excited to learn more. Meike has announced an RF mount option for their mini prime cine lens set, which consists of a new 10mm, 35, 50, 65 and 85mm, all of which are T2.2. with a 25mm joining it in September. These will cover Super 35 sensors, so are really aimed at Red Komodo and Canon T70 owners who want some really compact and affordable cinema primes. We've checked out a few of their mini primes before and enjoyed using them and the image that they produced, especially for their price. This whole set is also available in MFT, E and X mount and are honestly such good value for money. Samyang announced pricing for their upcoming Meister primes and 2x full frame anamorphic 50mm prime lens. The Meisters are full frame spherical cinema primes which are priced at roughly £8,300 including VAT per lens. This puts it in competition with the Tokina Vista primes, TLS Vegas, Canon Sumeres and KOOP's Pancro Classic FFs. These could be popular if the optics look great, as they are very fast, though only 3 focal lengths currently is also a bit limiting when you are looking at this price of lens. People would normally want to buy more focal lengths, but 3 could be okay for some users. The Anamoprhic is a massive full frame 2x 50mm prime and has had a price attached to it of roughly $20,000. Which is pretty high and puts it in the same market as the likes of KOOP and PNS Technique. Personally, I can't see this lens selling much at all at this price. The footage that Samyang has shared looks pretty bland, and with it priced as it is, rental houses will be the target buyers. And I'm not sure how many of them are going to buy a lens from a brand new to anamorphic, which only has 1 focal length in the set currently, over the other 2 brands that I've already mentioned who have full sets available in this price range with much more brand prestige and a more obvious anamorphic look. Don't get me wrong, it's great to have more options. I just didn't expect Samyang to go down this route. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Sony has announced their latest G Master zoom, the 24-70 f2.8 Mark II. We checked it out when it was announced, and if you want to learn more, you can check out our full review here. But long story short, this new 24-70 II is the sharpest and arguably the best optically, most compact and light, most video orientated 24-70 zoom for your E-mount camera, and it comes at a price of £2,100. Whether you can justify the price is up to you, but this new lens is a worthy successor to the original 24-70 G Master and improves it in pretty much every single way. Sirui has been slowly releasing anamorphics for a while now, but recently they released a set of full frame macro cinema primes and a full frame cinema zoom under their Jupiter line. The primes consist of a 24, 35 and 50mm, all of which are T2. They will be available in PL and EF, with adapters also being released with them for shorter flange cameras. Their intro video for the primes is rather bizarre, and they are being pretty heavily marketed as macro primes, but really aren't that much close focusing, maybe a few centimeters more than other budget cinema primes. They do look quite compact though, and I'm intrigued to see how they look on camera. There are so many affordable cinema primes now, and I'd like to see on camera how they all compare now. They also announced a 28-85mm t3.2 zoom, which looks oddly close to the specs of the Chi-Opt zoom that we checked out the other week. I wonder if the optics are the same. Hey, I guess it's good to have more options again though. Tokina has announced its latest Vista prime, the 180mm t2.9. This is an incredibly fast teleprime and should result in some crazy shallow depth of field imagery. There are now 12 lenses in the set ranging from 18 all the way to this new 180mm, making this Tokina Vista prime set incredibly complete. Vazen has added a 3rd focal length to their 1.8x anamorphic lenses for large format cameras, the 135mm t2.8. We managed to check this out very quickly the other month, and it can produce some nice imagery. This now means the LF set consists of a 50, 85 and 135mm. In terms of pricing, they're close to Atlas Orions, but do cover full frame natively, which makes their price look far more attractive when compared to other full frame anamorphic solutions. Zeiss has released the last lens in their Supreme set, the 15mm t1.8. This lens will fit in perfectly with the existing Supreme set and now brings the set to 14 focal lengths covering from 15 all the way through to 200mm. The Supremes are one of our favourite sets of full frame cinema lenses, and it's great to see such a fast, close focusing rectilinear wide angle join the set. SmallHD has released a couple of new products, as well as a quick tease of the Page OS 5 update at NAB 2022. First off, they released the Cine 18, which is being touted as the new monitor for everywhere because of its mix of rugged but lightweight design, daylight viewable 1100 nits peak brightness, 18.4-inch 8+2 10-bit 4K screen with 98% DCI-P3 color space coverage, and solid production power options and inputs and output options. The OLED 27 is another general purpose monitor, but for more image critical work. This new OLED features a 1,000,000:1 contrast ratio, a 26.9-inch true 10-bit 4K panel, capable of covering 110% of the DCI-P3 color space, with a peak brightness of up to 550 nits, while also still featuring all of the same great production monitor design as you'd expect from a SmallHD monitor like this. PageOS 5 is SmallHD's latest operating system for their range of monitors, and looks to improve on their already great software. This will add multi-view. With this, you'll be able to view up to 4 camera feeds simultaneously on Cine or OLED series 4K monitors, and this will be available in a few different layouts and with different tools to make it really flexible. It will also add tetrahedral LUT support, EL Zone, which is a false color tool based on exposure, improved sharpness on 4K monitors, and Kalman calibration integration. They will also be adding look around camera control, which will enable control functions on all pages of the Smart 7 monitors, along with other PageOS 5 tools. Key camera settings are also now present above and below the 16:9 camera feed, and this allows for quick camera configuration while also being able to use tools. Teradek has also showed off several new products. First off, the Serve 4K, which is a continuation of the Serve Pro. It offers local or cloud streaming, supports 4K DCI up to 60p, has a range of inputs and outputs, and can integrate with Frame.io. Next was the Bolt 4K LT HDMI, a HDMI only version of the Bolt LT, which is HDMI only and thus has a lower cost, which should give people wanting a zero delay Teradek system, along with the features and quality that a Teradek offers, but without the cost that the regular LT has. I can see it being very popular. They also showed off Bolt 4K camera control wirelessly, which is going to be awesome. There will be a range of different kits needed for different configurations, so if you want to learn more, check out the link down below. They also introduced the MDR.S, a new compact lens control box for the Teradek RT system. It's roughly half the size of the MDR-X and weighs just 68 grams. It allows you to daisy chain up to 3 motors, has a 28-volt input range, and allows for remote configuration of lens maps and more via the Teradek RT app. It's got a simple design and also allows for integration with SmallHD overlays. Sony has released the URX-P41D, a dual-channel wireless audio receiver which joins their UWP-D wireless audio line. This receiver can be connected to your camera via 3.5mm or XLR, but can also be used with a SMAD P5 adapter, which adapts it to Sony's MI shoe, which is common across their camcorders, Alpha and FX style cameras. Connecting it via this method enables direct digital audio recording, which bypasses any digital to analog conversion. It also now features a 3.5mm mic input on the body, which could be useful, and the ability to sync using NFC and a bunch more smart features. This could be a good choice if you own a Sony camera and are wanting an audio solution that will integrate well with your camera system. When we reviewed the Red V-Raptor late last year, one thing we mentioned was the sensor stitch issue that some users have been experiencing, and Red has now released an update to their support page which states that they are offering a solution to help alleviate this issue. This looks like it's essentially an improved flare guard that Red can install into your mount to help reduce the instances that the split being visible can occur. We haven't tested this yet, but fingers crossed this does help some end users. If you want to learn more or book your camera in to have this installed, you can via the link in the description below. Rhino has announced the Rhino Dolly, a fully featured solution looking to provide smooth dolly movements as well as repeatable movements with the integration with their ARC 2 system. The system looks well thought out with a good amount of options when it comes to configurations and compatibility. I also like the look of the carbon quick legs that would allow you to make sure each individual leg is at the same height using the markings on the legs. It can also be underslung and there's a lock off when you're changing lenses. It's on Kickstarter now and hopefully it will be more readily available through regular retail channels soon. Corswix has released a truckload of new products. First off, you have the Powerbase Edge Link and Powerbase Edge Lite. The Edge Lite is a 49 Wh battery with a similar design to the original Edge, but is a more affordable option that replaces the LCD with a 4 LED array for battery life, and the V-mount has been removed, but the price has dropped as well. It still has 2 PTAP outputs as well as 2 USB outputs. The Link is a 70 Wh battery, but is a touch slimmer than the previous Edge. It also has a larger, more secure quick release plate, an LCD for readout, 2 PTAPs and a USB Type A and Type C, which can be used for charging as well as delivery up to 60 watts. However, they've also added a link feature which will allow you to stack the batteries together on the back of your camera. Corswix have also announced a partnership with Atomos to create accessories with them for their hardware. First off is the Nano F-Pack, which is an L-series battery with a 4 LED battery life gauge, that they have slimmed down but kept capacity at 45 Wh while handling up to a 7 amp load. The NPF Atom 50 fits on Atomos' dual NPF style sleds and has a 49 Wh capacity and a PTAP output. The Atom X Neon battery system is a module designed for the Atomos Neon monitors that allows correct power delivery while also using either V or gold mount batteries. They also released the new Nanomicro 50, a 49 Wh battery available in both V or gold mount. This supports up to a 6 amp draw, features a full-size USB output and a DTAP output in a compact package. The Q Plus is a V-mount power supply for your camera that can simultaneously power your camera as well as your other accessories via the 2 DTAP outputs, while also charging a V-mount battery on the back of it via the included power cord. With a battery installed, you can unplug the cable and the Q Plus will keep camera power with no loss of power to the camera or the accessories you have attached to it. Lastly, they introduced the Helix Max series. This is their latest flagship series of V, B and gold mount batteries. These are available in both 98 Wh and 147 Wh variants and look very well featured, with some very respectable maximum amp draws. With these, they also introduced the Mach 4 charger, X2 mini charger and hot swap shark fin plate. The Mach 4 features 4 independent 4 amp simultaneous charge bays. The Core Swix Mach 4 charger is capable of charging 4 batteries simultaneously by focusing on each of them individually. This results in the ability to completely charge 4 98 Wh batteries in approximately 90 minutes. The X2 Mini has been designed with travel in mind. It's very compact and lightweight. It offers simultaneous 1.5 amp charging as well as a fleet rapid charge bay. When you only need to charge 1 battery pack, you can place it on the rapid charge channel for a 3 amp charge, which means one 98 Wh pack should charge in under 2.5 hours. The hot swap shark fin has been designed to accept standard 14 volt battery packs. When 2 Helix battery packs are on board and connected to the HLX mount plate, the adapter can output both 11 to 17 volt DC and 22 to 34 volt DC. It also has a separate pin set for high voltage that allows for safe power transmission. These last 3 products are all available in V, B and gold mount. Let's get into our quickfire honourable mentions. Links to details about these are in the description. Axoon has announced the CineView HE and CineView Quad. Both are wireless video systems, with the HE being the more budget-orientated one out of the 2. Adobe has updated Premiere Pro and After Effects with Frame.io integration. Angelbird has released a 4TB version of their AV Pro Mark II CF Express 2.0 Type B card. Aja announced the Hilo Plus, a H.264 advanced streamer and recorder. Arri released their newest camera stabilizers, the Trinity 2 and Artemis 2. Birdog released a bunch of new hardware and software updates at NAB 2022. Blue Shape released the PG700E, a portable power generator. Bosma had a few cameras on display at NAB, such as a 8K 60 full frame global shutter one, an 8K MFT one, and a 8K full frame one. Canon announced new firmware for the C300 Mark III and C500 Mark II that will allow camera to cloud workflows. Deity has teased a timecode box and Bluetooth slate at NAB. DOP Choice has released the Rabbit Rounder universal mount, which allows you to mount a range of modifiers to Bowen's standard mount fixtures. XSend has launched the Nitro, a new 512GB CF Express Type B card that is VPG 400 certified. Edelkrone launched the Jib 1V2. Apple has updated Final Cut Pro to 10.6.2. Fujifilm has released firmware for the X-T4 and the XS10 that enables compatibility with the Tascam adapter. GoPro released the Hero 10 Black Bones and GoPro Player. Holyland has announced the Solidcom C1, an intercom headset system with a range of up to 1,000 foot. Ignite Digi have announced their TB50 expansion pack for the Nodo inertia wheels. The Leica SL2S has received an update for ProRes RAW with the Ninja 5 and 5 Plus. LG showed off some of their new monitors and TVs at NAB. Matthews has introduced the Air Climber 25 pneumatic stand. Nanlite released the 720B as well as Pavo bulbs. Smorig announced a cage for the R5C as well as a new ultra affordable fluid head tripod, the AD01. Sumo Light has announced the Sumo Max, a hexagonal LED fixture. Sigma released firmware version 4 for the FP, which brings a range of features. Sennheiser has launched the XS wireless IEM system. Vinton released their Osprey series of pedestals. Vision Research announced the Phantom VO610. Vocas released their series of accessories for the Venice 2. And lastly, Wooden Camera released an offset mount and V-Lock kit for the Bolt 4K LT-TX. If you enjoyed this, please make sure you subscribe ready for next month's quick kit. And let us know what kit you've picked up this month in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching.